What is up, everybody? It is Midwest Raider fans coming at you with another video for our channel. Today we're going to do a real quick one, just a recap of that Chargers Raiders game where we did lose. We had a big opportunity to be 2-0 and be at the top of the AFC West, but we decided that we didn't want that and we wanted to be 1-1 and sharing the rest of the AFC West woes and woes and no's. It is what it is. But let's go ahead and talk about this game. I'm going to give a little stats and then tell you really what I thought was wrong with this game. There is a few things. I really thought we were competitive, but at the same time, I think we didn't show up in certain places, and we're going to talk about that. So let's go ahead and get started. Please like, subscribe, share if this is helpful or fun or interesting or whatever you think. Please throw some comments if I'm way off, or put some comments if you agree. But we did lose 20-9. We had a lot of opportunities in this game to score, but we just continued to fail. Geno Smith had an off day, is what I'm really going to say. I don't think he was mentally there. He was really trying to force things, almost looked frustrated at times right off the bat. He did talk on the thing that, he was just trying to let players make plays, which he was trying to do, but his passes weren't super crisp either. The first game, they looked really dialed in. Everything looked really good. Like, we as a team looked very, very, very well. This game, it looked like the offense didn't practice or something. It was honest. There was tons of errors. We're going to go over a lot of them. Just in the first half, there was a ton. And it wasn't any better in the second half. And you're not going to beat the Chargers kicking 3 field goals. We kicked a lot of field goals, and that's all we did. No touchdowns this game whatsoever. The defense got gashed, just all kinds of stuff going on. But we'll get into that a little bit more. It's going to be a little rant for me. Like I said, I'm not going to do anything super creative in this video because there's no need to. We lost. So let's go ahead and go into the stats really quick. Geno Smith, 24 for 43. We passed the ball 43 times. We should have went with the run a little bit more, in my opinion. But it is what it is. 180 yards. 3 interceptions, 0 touchdowns, and he had a rating of 37. So pretty sweet. Janty only had 43 yards. Smith rushed himself for 20 yards. Tucker had a little run. Zeus was in the game, but I think we should have used him more. I think we're really missing Mostert. He is a very reliable third down back. And I think we were really missing him. I wish we had Abdullah. He was a really good third down back. He knew how to block. Janty doesn't know how to block. He doesn't know where to go in some of those protection plans. Janty knows how to run. He knows how to be a first and second down back and get the ball and smash people. That's awesome. But he's not a very good blocker, in my opinion, so far. He does need some improvement of that. There was times where Geno was going back to hand off a ball to no one. And is that Geno's fault? Is that Janty's fault? It's somebody's fault. So somebody was off in this game. And it happened multiple times where he's going to give a fake handoff, and Janty's already running for a little screen or pass. He totally misses the fake handoff and just starts running off to his route. So go back and watch the game. It happened at least 3 or 4 times. So I don't know if that's Janty or if that's Geno. So we're going to talk about some of those miscues, but there was a lot of miscues in this game, and you can't have that when you're trying to be the number 1 in the AFC, right? You have to play pretty perfect, and we didn't even come close with 3 interceptions. So Myers, of course, was the baller. 6 for 68. Bowers 5 for 38. Thornton 1 for 20. Laube got in the game a little bit. Zeus got in the catching game. Tucker, he did spread the ball around decently, but like I said, a lot of his passes were off today. Defensively, we played pretty decent. We run a bend don't break defense in this, and we bent pretty good. We got Gash on the 60-yard play to Johnston. We got Keenan Allen had a very veteran play where he, got open for his quarterback basically when his quarterback was scrambling. So those are 2 big plays we got gashed on. But they held him to some field goals as well. and we really held the Chargers to 20 points. I said that we were going to win this game 24-20, and so if we could have scored more than 20 points, which we haven't been able to do in a long time, we might be able to get there and win a game, but we just can't do that, like I said. So still the curse of the 20 points, trying to get over that hump and score some points in these games offensively. Devin White still a baller, which is super awesome. I'm super impressed with that. Continue the work, Devin. Pratt, Chin, Polamalu, Crosby, Roberts was back. Nice to have him back in the lineup. Butler, Adams, Kelly, Stokes, Fontu had a couple impressive plays. Kuntz was in the game, but we still would love to get more pressure from those guys. Max is still going crazy out there, but still, we didn't get a lot of pressure on Hoover. We did run him out of the pocket a few times. We got some hurries, things like that, but sacks were pretty low in this game. I don't even know. We got 2 sacks in this game, and they were both from Lalu. So, yeah, defensively, we actually, in my opinion, we played pretty decently to hold them to 20 points. And I said if we could score 24, we might win this game, and I probably would have been right. So, yeah, I'm not going to blame the defense on this because kicking 3 field goals is the reason why we couldn't keep up Chargers in this game, in my opinion. So those are all the specs and stats. I am going to do a little bit later down in the week, probably Friday. I will get a recap so I can do a little bit more effort in the video and, find out who Washington has. I'm not very familiar. We hardly ever play Washington. So I'll give you a nice little preview on that, but I got to do my research on that. But I just want to come out with this quick because, like I said, it was pretty disappointing. I'm pretty disappointed. I felt disappointed right at the beginning of the game. I mean, the first play of the game, let's go into my notes here. First play of the game, Geno throws an interception. He threw it in. He was trying. Okay, the first game, very impressed with Geno. Very impressed with the offense. He was threading balls. He was on point. But they were really covering. I'll hands off give some credit to the secondary for the Chargers. They were really blanketing our receivers. There was a few plays that it was total a coverage sack, and Geno really needed to just throw the ball away or, ditch it out to the running back, which he did a few times, which another thing, we are really missing Moser because he's going to be better on third down. He's a better blocker. He's going to know what's going on. He's going to be able to catch in the protection better, and he's going to be able to catch better, in my opinion, in the backfield because he's just a third down back. That's what he does. That's why we're really missing Abdullah, in my opinion, as well, to be able to do some of that and help Geno not get crushed in there. Like I said, I don't know if it was Geno or if it was Janty, but Janty looked lost in the protections to try to help block protections. Is not very good. Go back and watch the video if you don't believe me. And, just early on stuff, very, very sloppy in this game. Geno threw into a zone pocket of 6 defenders and it got intercepted. Wow. It was the very first play of the game. That really sets a tone for a game. After that, you're like, oh, yep, this is the way this is going to go. So right off the bat, I was like, okay, this is how this game's going to be. So, and I wish they would have proved me wrong, but so far, Raider fans, we know how this feels. So he was trying to thread the needle. It got tipped up and it got interception. So the Chargers got the interception. So very crazy. I think all game Geno was just off. Like I said, after that first, maybe something got in his head, and he was just forcing balls, trying to thread that needle again, which he's done in that Patriot game, but he just couldn't get it done. Also, some of his interceptions were actually, I totally believe, on him because they were short. Like if you hit Thornton in the end zone, not before the end zone, you hit him in the end zone where he can actually use his 6 feet 4 inches to catch a jump ball, that is better. But that ball was short. So, and I know Geno was on the run and he had to really power that ball on the run. So, 50-50 fault on that. But if he would have got that in the end zone, it definitely would have been a better ball for him to try to catch in the end zone on that other interception. Also, the very last interception, to Myers in the end zone. Once again, trying to thread that needle into double coverage, safety over the top, and another cornerback with him. Tipped up, interception. So really trying to thread the needle and force balls that he didn't need to. There was a couple plays where I watched him roll around and there was some people open, but you had to like kind of throw the ball when they were open. And so credit to the, once again, Chargers defense for pretty good defense covering that up. I also thought Geno looked good when he used his legs. So use your legs a little bit more, roll him out. The offensive line was not playing fantastic by any means, but I do think they were actually run blocking better than they were pass blocking this game. And I actually said that they were pass blocking better in the Patriots and run blocking was terrible. Like we weren't getting a lot of yards on there. I actually thought there was more holes and a little bit better run blocking this game. Jeanty was actually hitting, 5, 6, 7 yards occasionally. And why didn't we stick to that game plan a little bit more? I think we need to feed that running game a little bit more and less passing. And I know, like I said, Geno has been pretty good, but we kind of see what he's trying to be doing. Maybe he needs to tame back a little bit. I know he's trying to be that gunslinger and throw the balls, but he's trying to get 50-50 balls all the time. And I don't think we're that quite ready to be doing that yet, in my opinion. So, like I said, I think Geno was off. Jeanty, one of those two were not in the playbook. I think the practicing was off this week, even though he had that extra day for being prepared from Sunday to Monday. I think they might have just watched a little too much football on Sunday and not been in the playbook because, like I said, there were so many miscues where, like I said, Geno would try to give a fake handoff and Jeanty would already be running off. There was a play where Geno either turned the wrong way or Jeanty went the wrong way to get a handoff and he gets sacked. There was a play where the center snapped the ball into his thigh and it hit the ground. Geno had to pick it off the ground, go back, and get sacked. So, like I said, there's many miscues in this game. Go back and watch it. It's a lot of it was in the first half. Very sloppy. Then, even offensively, we get the ball back like 3 times in the last 5 minutes of this game. So we had plenty opportunities to win this game. Like the Chargers was asking, especially with that strip by Crosby to get us the ball back too, and we get a fumble recovery. They were begging us to win this game, but offensively we could not thread the needle. We could not. We were making poor choices. I know he's trying to get points, but we could have got the field goal first and then came back and got the touchdown. Like I said, I know he wants to score now. He's a competitor, all that stuff, but he was just off today, and so he needed to play a little bit more conservative, in my opinion. Once he sees, oh man, all right, man, I got 2 interceptions already. Maybe I should play a little bit more conservative. Let me find the hole. Let me run. Let me use my legs. Like I said, I'm still fresh, those types of things. Crazy. Also, our receivers, since they know he was throwing a little bit short, need to come back to that ball a little bit. I know some of them were jump balls that probably wasn't possible, but so other than that, guys, like I said, I think the defense actually got gashed a few times, bent, was not completely broken, but our offense could not produce. Like I said, we're not going to beat the Chargers with 3 points each time with 9 points. So if we could hit that 20 mark, I think we could have maybe, snuck a field goal in, went to overtime, those types of things, and maybe got lucky. But ifs, would, coulda, woulda, shoulda, donna, woulda. It ain't working, guys. And so I really wish the Raiders could have came out on top of this one, but it's just not the case. And once again, we're in for a crazy year, I think. So we saw how we can play, and we saw how we can't play now. So hopefully we can find a mix of both and start getting in some of these games. Like I said, I will give you a preview of that Washington game coming up. Hopefully I'll get it out about Friday and give you a little bit more stats, thoughts on what we need to do to beat Washington. And hopefully we can do that. We're going to be on the road again, and it is what it is. So we're 1-1. It's not the end of the year, but we kind of, as Raider fans, know that maybe we drank the Kool-Aid a little too much on this team. We'll have to see what happens in the future. All right, guys, let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for tuning in, Midwest Raider fans. Please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And I can't wait to see you on our next video. And as always, go Raiders.